Yes, sir, we do.
Okay, will you make a roll call? First of all, I'm going to call to order the West Tampa Community Redevelopment Area Community Advisory Committee for March the 18th at 2025 at 5:30 p.m. at the Hillsborough Education Foundation, Tico Hall at 2306 North Highland Avenue, Tampa, Florida 33607. And I'm going to first call to order and roll call. Mrs. Brenda Thrower, if you would.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. As I call your name, just say here. Joe Robinson.
Here.
Carlos Ramirez.
Virtually here.
Here. Michael Gracia.
Also here virtually.
Sandra Sanchez.
Here.
Janice Williams.
Here.
Bobby Wilson. Jeanette LaRussa Fenton.
Here.
Cynthia Maloney.
Here.
Delphine Jones.
Here.
Tina Young.
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Before we go to public comment, I'm going to take the chair's executive privilege because I always didn't call David. Did she call you? Nope.
Oh, David. David Alonia, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I gave her hint on my last one.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, we have a definite quorum.
We have a quorum, okay. I'm going to take the privilege tonight because we have some very special guests here tonight. They just don't show up anywhere. And the first person I want to introduce is now your permanent economic opportunity administrator of the economic opportunity for the city of Tampa. That's over all economic opportunities at the field. So Mr. Julie, will you stand up, recognize yourself, and give her the mic, say everything you want to say for as long as you want. You give that young lady a mic.
That's fine.
Make sure that, is it working?
Yep. It's our flag.
Good evening.
Thank you.
I just actually wanted to stop in tonight. I've been trying, it's been my intention to make it to all of the CAC meetings. Unfortunately, with my workload, that opportunity hasn't been so easy. But I just wanted to stop in tonight. Sorry, I'm a little choked up. I didn't expect to say anything. I know a lot of the hard work that this group is doing in terms of the CRA, and also many of you have involvement with the West Tampa overlay and others. So wanted to come out and listen tonight, and always offer my availability if you have something you want to talk about or need to bring up. I make myself available to meet with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay. Second in order, second dignitary we have here tonight is a guy that's been around. He's been in the city of Tampa County. He's been around Baltimore, dealing with labor, dealing with CRAs, and we need him now because, you know, we'll talk about it later about how they're trying to get rid of us with it. They're not going to get rid of us. And young guy, Captain Apple South, great guy, been knowing him for decades. And I believe he is now the permanent CRA director. Finally, our own Cedric McKay. Will you stand up, Mr. Cedric McKay, be recognized? Use the mic, and keep going as you want.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. I put you on payroll since you're probably young. I don't feel it, but good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Pleasure to be back here with the West Tampa CAC, and looking forward to a productive meeting this evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, we're gonna have public comment. We'll have 3 minutes to speak for public comment. We'll start with the audience first. Just state your name and who you are. And then we'll go to the virtual, if anyone is on virtual. So is there anyone in the audience want to speak for 3 minutes? Give them a mic, come up, Mr. Sir, introduce yourself, and give them the mic. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Jim McCarthy with Domain Homes. We're a local home builder, and we've been in West Tampa for quite some time, and would like to remain. I'm here just for a few seconds to share with you some struggles we have. We applaud the efforts of the alley study, but we continue to struggle with the alleys. I don't know how else to say it, but the building is stopped in West Tampa. You've got David Weekly Homes, they're done. You know the old expression of pictures is 1,000 words? Well, one word changed in the code when you're mandating now that builders use vertical access through the alleys, so we can't do any more front load product. Now, you may not think that's a big deal, but we have to improve those alleys. They're expensive, they're dangerous, they're not being maintained. Even after we pave them, I guarantee you, the city's not going to maintain those alleys. So, if we could just have some common sense, if you want housing, especially not entry level, but attainable housing, you've got to make it a little bit of flexibility. And you've got alleys that are 10 feet wide, you can't even get cars down, nothing. I mean, they should be abandoned, those 10 foot. 14-foot ones, absolutely. Let's get into it, let's improve them. But to put the burden on the builder, it's just flat out not fair. And I know there's not a lot of sympathy for builders, but we're trying. And if you don't do something, the David Weekleys, they're gone, the other builders are gone, and what are we gonna have? So I think you're gonna regret changing that one word that said, may, shall. Please, if somebody could look at it. That's it.
Thank you very much, duly noted. Is there anyone else in the audience that wants to speak for 3 minutes? Going once, going twice, okay, we'll go to virtual public comment. Is there anyone for virtual public comment? There's no one virtual public comment, all right? Then has everyone received the February 18th, 25 notice of meeting?
I make a motion to accept the minutes of the meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? No discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Moving right along, CRA staff reports. Project team report included in the packet. Is there anyone here to report on those?
No, sir, they're all included in your packet, but I will make I referenced the historical marker information packet that I printed for all of you. I think I sent it to you online as well. This packet was put together by Mr. Corey Robinson, and he did just a fantastic job really kind of walking you through the steps of because there was questions at the last meeting about the historical marker program. So it really is an information guide to tell you all about how to apply for a marker. He even added into the back of this report a lot of information about current markers, pictures, you name it. So this is a reference document. It was requested, and so he provided it to y'all. I even haven't had a chance to read the whole thing, but it really is very thorough, and I think he worked with our archives folks to put this together. So you don't have to discuss it, but I'm going to for your reference.
It sounds like you're putting a lot of effort into
John?
if you need to tweak or add anything
Is
further,
John
feel
shake hands
free to
up?
let me know.
Now that's the silence of device over there, please. Okay, Ms. Jones? Get the mic,
So
Ms.
can you
Jones.
give me an answer?
Sure.
And if there's any other avenues, I know we got something about,
Can you use the mic? I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well. Thank you.
I know, you looking something over, something about a grant or something from historic preservation.
Yes, that was it. So that's a separate grant program. That is actually under Dennis Fernandez, our historic preservation manager. There's a grant program that's active right now to apply for historic structures. So when I see information like that, I pass it along so y'all can.
So, I know in the past, one time before, when I was trying to get stuff together, they said that this doesn't fall under the category, for funding under the CRA.
What doesn't fall?
Like the markers, the historic markers that I wanted to, get where Beck Street used to be and some of the other things on Main Street. That's what I was told.
Who told you that?
Well,
Well, there's a process to it. Number one, some entity has to apply for the marker. And that typically the CRA is not involved in that portion of it. Usually it's a nonprofit group, or maybe it's the actual building or the owner, or someone has to apply. This is the process to apply. Once you, and on top of that, there's a separate committee that meets on this, that evaluates the markers, that goes through the text to make sure everything's accurate and so forth. And then these markers actually come from the state of Florida. So there is a fund that they have that they can actually purchase markers. If there's some there's some situation where they don't have enough funds and it's in the CRA, maybe we could entertain something like that, since it's a structure and it's going in as part of a permanent kind of a bricks and mortar kind of amenity for the district, then we could entertain it. But right now, that's what was asked last time, was really where do you start? What steps do you go through?
that is what I asked, but, of course, it doesn't fit the category. I expect someone to kind of help me with that situation.
Well, there's a person in here, there's an entity to talk about that. So
Like I said, I haven't had a chance to go all.
that's fine, yes.
I'm just bringing up some other things.
And if you have any questions, maybe give it some time to absorb this, then Corey Robinson put this together. You could reach out to me, and we'll try to fill in the gaps of what you think.
Yeah, Corey did tell me that he's available, so I must have looked at.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any more questions on the historical markers information package? Mrs. Smith?
Yes, thank you. And I'm sorry, I couldn't hear as much. Would the historic markers be something that CRA funds could pay for? I mean, I know in the past because we paid for them in Drew Park, but I don't know now.
And we did one on Ybor on the Gateway, because we wanted to have the same look and feel. It was part of that capital project. I would tell you, you have to do it as part of the capital project. Putting in a marker, again, we did it with the Gateway project, so it was more than just a marker. So I don't know, you did them in Drew Park. I have no history that you've done them in West Tampa. I don't know. I think it just depends on the situation.
Yeah, but I mean, step one, is it something we could use? I mean, ideally, some other organizations might be able to pay for it, or maybe joint venture. I mean, I'm thinking maybe the chamber might be able to contribute, but we really are behind, and we've got so many historic locations in West Tampa that I think it would be great if we can develop a list of potential sites that need markers, and then start a project. And I'll say that I'm also involved, as is Ms. Sanchez, with the West Tampa Strategy Group, which they're involved in historic preservation. This would be something they would be really interested in. So my point is, can we have time to review this and then perhaps put it on the agenda again next month or the month after for a more in-depth discussion?
Absolutely, and just so you know, as we all know, this Chicken CRA 101, it has to be in the plan, it has to be in the budget, and it has to be consistent with 163. So we have an opportunity where we're updating the CRP plan. So if it's not in the plan, and this is something that the group wants to do, and it's eligible, then it's something to entertain. So we have to look at that as well.
But
yes,
historic preservation's in the plan, so.
historic preservation, right, but do we have defined structures? Maybe. It's better to define it that way, so.
Anyone else
Good
wants to
point.
speak on the historical markers information package? Let me just say this about it, okay? To me, it's a sign. It's part of infrastructure, because it sits out in the right of way. Very rarely do we sit on private property, to my knowledge. This is supposed to be for the public to walk. It's a sign that you identify. You see one say, stop, don't cross the street, 25 miles an hour. There's a lot of our signs are knocked over right now. People don't get it on that. It's still knocked over on everything. And, and so I look at it as a wayfinder. You walk in public, there's a sign, it talks about some building or some significance where it stands. So to me, it's infrastructure, because it's not social services. It's not a festival. It's none of the things that they want to cancel CRAs about. It's an infrastructure. It's a physical sign. And so I think it falls under signage. Okay, we're talking about branding West Tampa, right? Branding the signs, branding how Gateway coming in to West Tampa. That's why we're doing Sussex Park, what we're doing. So I think you're right, Jeanette. We need to put this on the agenda for a discussion, but we don't just need to have a discussion. We need to have people here that can say no. And so what I would suggest and entertain before we have that meeting is to have our lawyer make a motion. Somebody want to make a motion, because I don't want to pass the gavel and make one, to have legal look at, can you put a historical sign in a national historic district using CRA funds? That would be the proper way to get this over with. Then we won't be here back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, can we put a mark up? Because my approach is always, can it immediately be done? I don't want to hear from nobody, I want to hear from the lawyer that's over the CRA. All we have to do is make requests, and let staff will figure out how the lawyer will respond to that, you know, whenever he get time. So if somebody wants to make a motion,
So moved.
what is your motion?
That we request legal to give the opinion on the legality of spending CRA funds on historic marker signs.
Is that second to that? Oh, that was too fast. I got Ms. Sanchez, was a real close one, John. Ms. Sanchez second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries now. Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. Next is grant report, including the packet. Anybody got any comments on the grant report? Is that this? Which
Yeah,
one is, that's the big one?
Yeah, the big
The
one.
big, now, I can read it now. I see my name on
You
it.
can thank me, you can thank me, Dr. Robinson, you can thank me.
At the request
I
of
said, you can
the,
thank me.
Well, no, I mean, you can see it now. I like this because you can really see, you know, what's going on. Before it was just too small. Is there any comments?
I just have one question.
Yes, Ms. Sanchez. You said Michael Sanchez because it's a little bit, we're trying to report this.
On the second, can you hear me?
Yes,
Is it
ma'am.
working? Okay, on the second page, it's like third from the bottom, that 2007 was the Beach Street, that was the funding for the community garden that never happened. It shows that we paid out $19,705. I thought we didn't pay anything because they never sent in any receipts.
No, they did, and they did, but they didn't get the 38 or whatever thousand we had budgeted for. So they did it, and they moved forward. Because remember, I told y'all that that was one of the first grants we did like that, and it was very, you know, and that's what, like 3 years ago we started on that, over at McFarland Park, during COVID, I believe. And so, it died on the vine. They got paid for the services that, because remember, all of these grants are reimbursement grants. So you got to do something first and then you get reimbursed if you meet all the criteria. So, I remember that Jesus went through and worked with them to get their paperwork straight and back and forth. And I believe that this says that they've been paid $19,000 and that's it. And I think as far as I'm concerned, that project is no longer active.
I knew it had kind of died on the vine, I was just curious, I knew, I thought.
Trust me, the city is not, I know the city very well, they ain't gonna pay you, you got all the paperwork, you got to have the paperwork and some of them.
They have made mistakes before.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't make one on that. Anything else?
This is the first time we've gotten to look at it, really haven't had a chance to
No.
think it over.
Anything else? That's it. Anyone else on the grants list? If not, we'll move on to the next one. The next one is the housing report, which is a different, package. Which one is that?
it's right after
The green one?
yeah, it's a snapshot of grants.
The house, for housing?
Right after the grants, it's the housing snapshot. So it's a one page. And it shows you the activity that's happening with residential grants.
Okay. Any comments by the committee? Not, we're gonna move on. Ms. Maloney?
Just wondering if there was any effort or movement or desire on the part of our group to do more outreach to neighborhood with residents to let them know about these grants, to have quarterly, you know, meetings or information sessions, to have one-on-one sessions with either, you know, members of this group or someone from staff, from the city, to explain to people how to do this. And what, you know, I mean, I think we would have a lot more grant requests if people were
Well,
less discouraged by the process, or less.
well, you know, let me just say this from experience, okay? A lot of people don't want to deal with the city because they don't want to reveal their personal information. I'm one of them. So, you know, so you're very, you know, hesitant to start giving your income information, who your relatives are, you know, and all those things that you have to do to prove you don't have $1 million in the bank somewhere here. You know, so it's not that, you know, I got a house, I'm gonna get a grant to fix it up. Because, you know, there's some criteria that they have, and I think they passed out a paper, in this Bible over here, this folder here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys had a chance to peruse it, but in here, they have like criteria for, I'm impressed that they have everything now on a piece of paper. I think it's also on the website, but you know, it's old folks who not computer literate like that, savvy. But they have, you know, like downhill assistance program, I see here, they tell you about the AMI, what the household income must be low. So, and all the commercial experience grant, so they got these glosses that were made up back in 2024, this year 2024. So they have that now, and they're giving it to you. So how that gets disseminated to the public, I don't know, but I do know that a lot of people just don't want to be bothered. So I mean, because they have a department, Mrs. B. Parks, the housing,
Yeah.
and she's getting out there. So I mean, what are you saying? Because we've had meetings, ain't nobody show up. And then we got staffing that's paid for, all that, nobody show up. So, I mean, this has been going on for 20 years or more.
I just wonder, has anyone ever reviewed, or recently reviewed the criteria and, you know, agreed that that level of information is needed, or, I mean,
Well, yeah,
if
because.
somebody lives in West Tampa, they're not gonna have $1 million squirreled away in the bank.
Well, you don't know. I mean, what I'm saying is that a lot of people don't care if they don't have any money. They don't want the government getting their information.
Okay.
And that's been a problem.
All
See,
right.
the people that want to participate because they need some repair, their roof falling in.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the same problem in East Tampa. In East Tampa, they have a whole bunch of people over there. So it just depends. Some people want to do, some people don't. Now, we'll keep pushing. I see Mrs. Sedgwick. Did you raise your hand?
No, I was just.
Oh, okay, because I'm watching that corner of my eye now. I thought you wanted to chime in on this, but, you know, I leave that up to Ms. Thrower and everybody else. Now, if you think that we're not doing an adequate job over here, anybody else? Ms. Jones, did you let your hand up?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Because
I'm sorry, I
I
got
had a situation
Go ahead.
when we were down there with, we went down to the city building on Hannah, because we went to,
Main.
okay, so I ran into somebody I knew, she was there to see B Parks, so the guy told me, okay, I'll put her on the list and she'll come out, but B Parks is not down there anymore, she's on 22nd now, according to what he said. But anyway, make a long story short, the person was told that there was no more funding. She wanted a roof, an application, so she could try to get a roof on her mom's house. So now, is that a true statement? Are we out funding?
No.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute, slow down. Each CRA has separate funding.
Correct.
So some CRA may be out of funding.
And I explained.
Now, I don't know, but what CRA was she in? Was she in West Tampa?
West Tampa.
Okay.
She's in our.
We ain't gonna have no money that.
So I explained to her that if you're from West Tampa, even though everything's in the same pot, they take it from, you know, West Tampa funds. Now, that's what I was understanding. Am I wrong on that?
We have our own separate budget for
Right.
West Tampa salary,
Right.
separate from anybody else.
So I sent her on 22nd Street and told her to ask for these cards. But I told her, I said, To my knowledge.
I was hoping you got the hint.
Good evening, the Assessment Craig, Tampa CRA Director. Ms. Jones, each CRA has allocated 30%
Right.
of the TIF allocations for each CF Community Redevelopment Area District to affordable housing projects. So West Tampa, because we haven't had the same level of applications, has money. East Tampa might be different because that waiting list and the folks in that queue are pretty extensive. Last check, I think we had received maybe 250, maybe 75 applications, and I think over 100 have submitted their information that's been requested by staff, and we're now starting those scopes of work. The response in West Tampa has not been as large, I will say that, but West Tampa definitely has funds available.
That's because it's the same thing I've been saying over and over, they don't want to get personal information.
Correct.
And I did tell her that, yes, you would have to do personal information. I've asked this question many times over, and the city said that's what's required.
Well, one thing I'm gonna get to, if I can interject, one thing, I'm trying to stay in the 5 minutes, got 5 minutes, but I think that might be something, right? But here's the deal. People will say that they don't know. See, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call up such as this person, when you give a name, go down there and they got a record of it sign up. But some people sign up, they didn't necessarily get no service, but they didn't wanna come back with information. See, this is what was happening early on. So when somebody said, well, I didn't get that, when I started digging into it, yeah, you met with the person, they said, come back with some information, you didn't. Now you wanna come to me and say that they didn't give you no service. That happens.
The person that, she was speaking with, that was with the city, she came out and we both told her the same thing through the conversation. So this person knows what she has to do and what's required.
So she needs to do it now, right?
Right.
Okay. So she got service then, she got
Yeah,
information.
she did get service.
Okay,
She
fine.
did
All
get
right.
service.
Ms. Sanchez?
I just want to address something that Cynthia was talking about, and that's reaching out. A couple of weeks ago, I went to the county's neighborhood engagement expo that they had. I was glad I went. I'm new into being aging without a car, so it was very informative. And it would be informative for, not that we have to have everybody that they had, because I don't think wastewater has to be there, but I was looking for transportation. So I talked to people from Heart Plus, because that's what the city offers. That was informative. There were all kinds of people there for different areas that are for individuals. And I think maybe a small West Tampa CAC Expo might be something that we should consider. It won't cost us anything because we're using city employees for the different departments that are there. But it was I was glad I went. I went because somebody was going and I was tired of being at home. You know? But I strongly suggest, we've been talking about reaching out to West Tampa residents and talking about it, and that's all we do is talk about it. So that's my suggestion.
Hold on, Mrs. Carl, Ms. Williams.
Yeah, I just want to say that if you're in charge of a department and you see that there aren't as many applications as there should be, I would think that one would make an effort to say, well, what should we do? What kind of outreach should there be? Go to the churches, okay? Go to the neighborhood association meetings. With all due respect, maybe the city has tried a little hard to show the people that there is no, malicious intent. And that, because the whole goal here is with gentrification and everything else, we need to reach out to people who want to stay here. Maybe they have to stay here. I don't know about anybody else, but I have nowhere else to go. You know what I mean? So that's what really bothers me. If you're in charge of this grant program for housing, after all this time, this is why people like me get mad. Make an effort. You're getting paid to do something. Do your expletive job. And there should be accountability for that, sir.
Thank you.
Mrs. Thrower.
Thank you so much. And
great conversation. I just wanted y'all to know that there's been some real active outreach opportunities that we've partaken in. We went out to the Fiesta Day. We were there part of that event. There was the senior days that I know I put the flyer kind of last minute, but that one was another one. So where there's opportunities for us to be a part of an event that's going on, I totally agree. That's a perfect opportunity to get a lot of pass-by traffic and just, you know, getting the word out about the grant programs. The other thing I want to tell y'all, you see these folders that I gave each of you? They have all of the grant flyers that we have been providing at these events. And a lot of you are part of organizations, ex officio organizations, so we can also provide them to you electronically if you want to also pass them on to your membership. Because I think it's one of those things you have to constantly be passing things along and sharing information. Yes, I totally agree with you, Ms. Williams. We could be out more, and we'd love to be out more. That's kind of what our role is, to be an outreach. But you know, you're going to miss people. And the other thing is to remind everyone that the first step of the process is to make an appointment, make a consultation appointment. Go in, talk to them. They moved the office from Hannah to East Tampa. There's parking. You can roll right up to the door there. There's so it's easy to access. But anyway, absolutely. Thank you for your comments. And
one more thing, then I'll be quiet. At one time, I did go around the whole area and looked at houses and thought, okay, well, maybe these people would be interested in an application. And I ran into a woman, she asked me a question about something, I was very honest with her, it had nothing to do with the application process, but this is another challenge that we're dealing with here in an area that's undergoing gentrification. Well, not even 3 weeks after I dropped off the application with her, she sold the house. I mean, I'm happy for her. She sold it, I think she got like $200,000. But this is another challenge that we're dealing with here in areas undergoing gentrification. We're not the only ones out there driving around trying to make an effort to help people, you know? So, and what seems basic to you about going out to these fairs and stuff, that's real nice, but there are people who don't go to fairs.
oh,
Okay,
it's just one opportunity.
I understand.
Nice question. For the people who don't have transportation over there, is a telephone access they can use?
There's telephone, and also Ms. Parks and her staff will come to you. They will, you just have to schedule it.
Okay. Vivid discussion. Thank you, Mr. McQuarrie. Okay, moving right along on the agenda. That was, once again, you know, I'm going through the grants process as a, you know, test to see how they operate. All right, manager update, Mrs. Brenda Thrower.
Yes.
CAC orientation training recap and inserts.
Yes, thank you so much. So in the folder that you each have on your desk is the inserts that go into your binder. So most of you, I think all of you, attended last year's orientation. We had another one on March 10th. It was very well attended, but I promised y'all that I would bring you the inserts. So all you have to do, you'll see they're even hole punched. You can just insert them easily into your binder. There's a brand new PowerPoint. It has a lot of updated information. There's also an updated contact list. And of course, our annual report is also part of that as well. So those are what I promised I'd bring to you.
You don't have another one by the end of the year?
We may or may not, but I have another opportunity, if you'd like. We have the video of the whole CAC presentation available for you to see. So if y'all didn't make it, we're definitely going to have it annually. If we have, I know, David, you missed it. We have to schedule the second date, but we usually have it around March time, but I do have the video, and it's very informative, especially Attorney Cliff Shepard gave a whole, spent some time talking about the sunshine law ethics.
Ethics.
I'll send you the link.
The sunshine video.
And the sunshine video I sent you.
Yes.
That was his, yes.
Okay. Is that it? All right.
Yes, the other thing I just want to share with you, oh, I'm sorry. No, that's it, because stay on the agenda.
That's it. Okay, moving right on to new business. Yes, I didn't see your hand, Mr. Sanchez.
Mr. Orr, I was gonna watch the sunshine. Is it really 2 hours long?
Is
I
that
started
set
watching it, I
hours?
said, are you
Okay.
kidding me?
Well, you can stop and start it. It's really good. It's actually
Right.
something, Mr. Shepherd put together. It's actually
I'm
his
sure it's
presentation.
detailed. I'm sure it's detailed, but I was just surprised.
If you wanna-
Trust me, you'd rather spend 2 hours watching that than 22 hours in jail. So I get bailed out. I mean, trust me, you guys are laughing, but there has been some real close situations around here. And I'm just telling you, the state is getting serious about the CRAs. And a lot of this stuff is video, so be careful what you say. Be careful what you talk about. And, can't be talking to each other unless we hear. There's a lot of things to be careful. Yes, Ms. Jones?
No, I just wanted to.
Or is the
I
road?
wanted to thank Ms. Thor for sending out information about the street striping.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you very
welcome.
much, because I had people on my back about that. I noticed that that would be what the west side is done at Howard.
Yeah.
So now we gotta get the other side.
You're
They
welcome.
wanna know why everybody else who got striping names done. I have to listen to them. They take me through the ring about stuff.
Okay, is that it, Ms. Brewer? Anything else
Yes,
before we
sir.
move on to the new business? The serious business, because this is our livelihood coming at us. Okay, let's go to new business, legislative update, House Bill 991 and Senate Bill 1242. Those are not the lotto numbers. That is the numbers that, before, the legislative session. And they're very serious. I don't know if you guys have read, if you do get a copy of FRA. I mean, I clicked them, I've even printed out the actual House analysis of the bills that go into explaining CRAs. And once again, this goes back to what I've been telling y'all. This has been an ongoing idea to not really get rid of CRAs, but to make them more accountable. So they instituted years back to make cities and people that get CRAs to make an annual reporting. That was instituted, the city's doing that. So these two bills now are getting more aggressive. And they're getting aggressive because, people that's why I said on the record that I think that historical market is an infrastructure, a sign. That's why I said we need to have a motion for our attorney. See, I don't do anything here that's, created that's going to our lawyer. So as long as we go to our lawyer, he says, okay, then we'll go forward with it until such time somebody proves wrong. So these Senate bills, are you gonna go over these, Ms. Fedora?
I'm sorry.
Does somebody wanna go over them?
The House bill?
House bill, yeah.
Well, I can have some highlights of it. It's a very short,
First of all, as Chair Robinson mentioned, we have two bills, one in the House and one in the Senate. And I believe they've already passed through the House. The big, let's just do an overview. It's 2 pages long, it's not real long, but it's very impactful. And the first thing it speaks to is that all CRAs, no matter what your end date is, will end on 2045, okay? Now, in the city of Tampa, we can live within that because all of our CRAs will expire by 2043. So that's doable. The second thing it talks about is that you can't have independent boards. An independent board would be a CRA that does not have, you can have their elected officials +2. You only do that if you're in a community or jurisdiction where you would only have 1 CRA district. In Tampa, we have 9. So we've always used our elected body, so we are fine there. We always, so we would not have an independent board. The biggest stickler in the whole legislation is the language that speaks to no new projects, that you, after July 1st, that you would have no new projects that you can encumber, and you couldn't encumber any debt past this fiscal year. And so that is kind of where all the CRAs are very nervous, because if you have no new projects, whatever that is defined to be, it would pretty much shut you down. I mean, you could fund things that you already have as a project, let's just say the Riverwalk or other projects that we've already identified,
the parks and so forth, but you couldn't do new projects. So that is what's being debated. That is where all the lobbyists are spending all their attention on. And there is some promising news that the Senate, the next committee that's due before, the chairman of that committee does not want to hear this bill. So possibly, if it doesn't get heard at that committee, then the bill would die, because it's got to go through committee, then it hits the floor, and it hits the floor, then it gets voted on. So this is one of many, many bills that are out there that are being, drafted and voted on and so forth, but this is all I know as of today. We have lobbyists that are involved, the FRAs that are involved. What I will tell you is that FRA has put out a call to action for those communities that want to approach their legislator. They have a whole, who's your legislator? If you don't know, they'll get you that name. They have a draft template of a letter that you can send out from your organization supporting CRAs. That's available. And of course, you can listen to it and follow it. It's running very fast. Bills that run fast, maybe the Senate knows if they run fast, what happens. It gets a little nerve-wracking. May 2nd is the date that we will know what happens. But anyway, we're tracking it, we're doing the best we can, and...
Okay, let me just add to that. Okay, when this popped up 5-6 years ago, this is ongoing. We, first of all, I would like to know, Ms. Thrower, what is the CRA doing of Tampa? Are they planning on writing a letter to the legislators? Do we have a lobbyist that follows this course? That's the first question I need to ask. Now, I'm gonna wait. Did anybody else want to chime in? I want to ask, do we have a lobbyist for the city of Tampa that is following these two bills, the Senate bill and the House bill? Because I know, for the record, being transparent, as Tampa's sports authority that I sit on, we have a lobbyist, and it's in our report about the CRA. They tracked it, and that's why I got first wind of it. When they gave us this, they were tracking it, because we have, for the record, being open here, we have RSA Consulting Group as our lobbyist. And so they follow things, and this CRA popped up on our lobbyist as some bill that we should pay attention to. So, Mr. Shepard, can you give us some things, what the city of Tampa, I assume it's the city of Tampa, on the CRA, maybe separate from the city of Tampa, do they have anybody lobbying? If so, we have a letter write campaign. Do we need to make a motion to have a letter draft so I can sign that we did before, sent somewhere?
Yes, Ms. Thrower did answer the component about what's coming from the FRA. They do have a lobbyist, Ryan Matthews, and we actually were on a call yesterday.
So we're using the FRA, which we're a member of,
correct,
as our lobbyist for the CRA.
Correct. But
got it. That has nothing to do with the city of Tampa, per se. Got it.
On the city side, I actually participated in a meeting last week, and Ian Whitney, who's in Person Administration, actually provided an update to all of the leadership in the city of Tampa related to those two bills that are fairly quick.
Is there anything that us as a CAC need to do, or we just let you guys keep doing and reporting back to us?
It's my understanding that yes, it's been encouraged that you all reach out to, or if you would like to reach out to your area legislators to express your concern. And I'm waiting an opinion from Mr. Shepard, Attorney Shepard, to see about us pushing things out via social media as well.
So you've got our attorney, the CRA attorney,
correct,
to put us out in a position. And he's very well heeled to do what he do.
Yes, he actually was on the call yesterday afternoon.
All right, so there's things going on our behalf, people, but we can do more if we call the legislators, Republican, Democrat, don't matter. Just put the work, because it's working. Because it's working because there's been some, to the whole deal, because there's some Republicans saying, wait a minute, my district didn't have nobody with a festival. It's actually working in the Panhandle where we had a slum and blight area, and it's cleaning up, and we got a $10 million deal, and if y'all do that, you're gonna kill my $10 million deal up there. So the Republicans are having good success with CRAs, and that's a saving grace right now, that we do have Republican counties and cities that have good CRAs working, and they're speaking up about, hey, this is gonna hurt us. Now, we don't, as West Tampa, I don't know, Mr. Seven, don't sit down too quick. Either you or Ms. Atkins, we don't have any bond issues that we're using with our, because most of the things we funded, the Riverwalk, the parks, that stuff is cash out the barrel. We're not putting out our CRA on West Tampa. That's all I'm speaking about for bonding.
No, sir.
Right, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, what I'm gonna do is, if you'll pass that down, Mrs. Maloney, this is the Florida House of Representatives bill analysis of House Bill 991 that I pulled up to bring in for the record, so it goes in there. And then this is the Florida Senate bill analysis fiscal impact statement, the Senate Bill 1242, that gives you some background on CRAs and just why they want to, some real short things, what they want to do, build. Because like Ms. Thrower said, one of the issues is, what's a new project?
Yeah.
See, if they want to play that game, they need to have some definitions, and that bill right now as drafted has some definitions. What's a program? Well, is there a difference between a program and a project? We have programs. So, you know, and then if we have a grant program, okay, we got 2-3 million in it, they want to play that game, we can't create nothing new, then that means we'll just have to keep putting more money in that program if they lock out new programs. So y'all understand what I'm hearing? So what that means, between now and July, y'all might need to, and we're going through the budget process right now, right?
Yes.
Matt's getting ready to do a budget. We getting ready to do our budget. So we need to be smart and get in front of these guys. Now I'm telling y'all this because I know how Tallahassee work. I got friends around here. And I asked a real prominent CRA chair, I won't say their name, in Tennessee. That's all I'll tell you. You can do the math.
Mr. Robinson,
Let's move on then. Mr.
Yeah, but Brenda, as I went through the areas that you just pointed out, it says may, it says shall. So if
always
it's
a better
may,
word.
that means you can still do it, but with permission, right?
Where, are you reading the legislation?
Correct.
Right now, that is what everyone's talking about, is the new projects.
Yeah, but
So
you're saying-
again, it's very vague, but
It says that community
this is where we
development
need
may-
clarification.
May not be created, may not.
Oh, you're talking about no new CRA?
Yeah,
So the other
okay.
thing I forgot to mention, no new CRAs, that's a new area.
But-
We're not in that boat right now, because we're not creating any new CRAs, but if you're in a community, because you want one,
Like Sulphur Springs.
right, it's really the no new.
No, I just
projects
thought about
that-
the one with the new CRA. I was
Oh.
looking at talking about new projects may not have new project in place. So when I see may, there's a possibility for you to still do it.
Good point.
Okay, that's my 5 minutes on that subject now. Anyone else? Going once? Okay.
Wait, are we still talking about? new
House Bill,
business? New
any new
business?
business that's not maybe on there, you might have something. Yes.
New business?
New business.
Okay.
You know, I'm sort of, don't understand how they got new business but don't have old business. But we'll let you know.
On February 27th, I was invited to a meeting on Hannah Street, and I believe it was, if Ms. Steely's here, she can kind of guide me on this. And the group that is doing the consultant to change the land development code is having a meeting for, about the West Tampa overlay. So I was invited on Thursday for a meeting on Monday morning. It was kind of like a last minute thing. I don't know how they came about the invite, but Carlos Ramirez was there, I was there, Delphine was there, the architect on the corner here, Lucia, I can't remember, he was there. And we talked about the West Tampa overlay. And the point that I was making when we were talking to them was that we know the West Tampa overlay needs to be changed. We're not the ones that own the overlay, but since we partook in it, and Carlos and I are one of the ones that defended it before City Council, we know that things need to be changed. We talked extensively about the alleys, not just in West Tampa, but throughout the city. As more and more people are encouraging development to use the alley access, there comes up the problem with traffic comes into that also. If they're paved pedestrians are going to use those alleys, which is something we've been talking about, making the alleys assets and not liabilities. The problem is, for example, I have one alley in Army Gardens that's a shortcut from Armenia all the way to Havana. We have asked for stop signs there because the pedestrians, the potential pedestrians being hit, okay? Right now, in that alley, there's approximately 4 homes going up with 9 garages. That means 18 cars that are going to be using that one short alley, okay? It's also not a wide alley. So what we brought up with this group, and Eric Cotton was there, David Hunter was there, I think most of David Hunter's group, and the gentleman from the consultant, Jeff, I think his name is, Abby, the consultant, Jeff.
Jeff Green.
Huh?
Jeff Green.
Yeah, and Jeff Reed, he was the one who was heading the meeting. And it was very informative, it was a good exchange of information. And people were complaining about the alleys, and we agreed. There needs to be options. The reason I want to bring it up is because land development has gone through the trouble of addressing it with the new consultants to see what we can do to take care of the issues, okay? We understand the problems between shall and may, okay? Like I said, I'm only speaking from my experience. It's what code says, and that's what I defended, but I don't care. I want us to do what's best for the community. The reason the alleys were made primary within West Tampa is because the streets are narrow and there's no sidewalks. So the main thing I wanted you to hear, Jim, was that there is an exchange going on, and Ms. Feely can attest to it, that there is an exchange going on with that. When Mr. Reed comes back, I'm taking him on an alley tour, and I'm also taking 4 of the people from that department on the alley tour, just to show them the issues, so that they can have a clear picture of that it's not roses, and we know it's not roses. There has to be a compromise, and there are compromises. But we wanted to make sure that we understand we are not, those of us who were invited there, we're not resisting change. We just want responsible change and be part of the communication, which we have been. So I thank you for that, and Eric and Mr. Reed, everybody.
I think Mr. Green went on the alley tour with someone else. You weren't available. I think another
I went to
lady
Tampa Heights.
was taking him.
Yeah, I think I went to Tampa Heights.
Okay. In relationship to that meeting, just to provide some additional detail, there were some changes that were proposed for the overlay, and the text amendments went to council, and I believe that it was deferred to the code update. That was, you had said that it could go to the code update. Once you made that statement at council, I think a week later or so, the consultant was due in town. I said, since the community has taken the position that they would defer until the code update, let's meet with them to understand what the expectation is in terms of what those changes would be. And that's when that meeting was set, knowing that he was going to be in town for the public meeting. So apologies if it was short notice. I think the intent was good in getting everyone around the table so that the consultant could directly hear what Mr. Hunter had worked with you all on, and then, you know, from there. So right now, though, it won't be probably until spring of 26 that any of those changes would go forward to city council.
Thank you.
Mr. Sanchez, on that alley thing, let me just say this, remember now, we the leaders on alleys in the city of Tampa, the city of Tampa don't know about alleys. We have to stay, and we're doing pilot projects that we approved, last month? It was the alley between Union and then the one on Main Street, right? So we got our pilot program going, our money invested. So let's just see if they get that done, and then we can tell the city all about alleys. One deals with housing, one deals with the commercial strip. So we setting the pace for alleys. All right, moving on. Yes, ma'am. You got another new business, Mrs.
Yes,
Maloney? Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wondered if I imagine Tampa, the city of Tampa has a master calendar for events, like the senior center events, or other things like that that are coming up. You probably have stuff scheduled out a year in advance, right? Some things. And I'm wondering if it would be appropriate for us to make a motion to ask Ms. Thrower to make that information available to us as it is updated, so that we could participate. We could have a table at one of these fairs or whatever. We could make people raise awareness of what we do and what, and hear from them what they think we should do, and make our programs more transparent.
Yes, I'm happy to submit the information to you.
Do you remove a master calendar?
Well, no, there's a link. The city of
There's a
Tampa
link.
has, the city of Tampa Special Events Office.
What does that come under, Jeanette, Mrs. What's that
Actually, it
come
comes under the Parks Department.
under? For any event with the city?
Yeah, Special Events Office, yes.
Renata.
Okay.
Yeah.
More
Parks.
information here.
There's a master calendar that's on the Tampa Gov page that has everything from ARC hearings, HPC hearings, city council hearings. It's all on there. And it is, I believe, just a combination. I don't know. I think community engagement does lead some of it. I don't know. I just go out there and the calendar's there. And it'll tell
So
you
can you
everything
send
that's
us the
going
link?
on.
Can you send us the link? Let's look at it.
If you want the comprehensive calendar.
Yeah.
That's everything, that's all meetings too. I mean, it's all electronically generated, so you just go on to the month and you can see everything that's on there.
I'm willing to spend 2 hours listening to a sunshine law video. I can manage to wedge my way through the calendar. I just feel like, we hear about things at the last minute sometimes, and I know that everyone is busy, and, it's my fault too, I don't check, but it'd be helpful to be informed in advance so we can participate more effectively.
Okay. Anything else, Ms. Quinn?
No, sir.
Okay, moving right, any new business, okay? There's no old business on the agenda, so I can't bring that up. We have announcements, is that right, Mrs. Thrower? We can go ahead.
We have,
Hold on. Mrs. Jones, throw her hand up before you can go there. Yes, Mrs. Jones.
Are we gonna get an input on the new Publix? Is anybody gonna come here or say anything about it, just like they building it and they just building it? And we had one input on it, and that's it. And I think that's appropriate.
I don't know. It's a private development. I see Mrs. Williams.
You wanna know about the new Publix on Main?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's on that corner, but I mean,
Mr.
Yeah,
What-
you can go ahead, go ahead.
So that was part of a larger PD rezoning that took place, I think, about 5 years ago, and that's when public comment on that design of that building would have been taken. I mean, it has been permitted, it's being constructed. At this point, there would not be.
no, I don't mean that. I mean, it's in the community. We need to know what's going on. Can somebody come and say something? I mean, it's just like I pass by it every day, and that's what I do, pass by it every day.
I do too, I live right there too.
People ask me, when is the completion? What is this? What is that? I told you I get grilled. I really do. And I don't have any answers for them, and that really looks lame. That's the word I use.
It's gonna be completed
And
this
I
summer.
can't provide any information, and I'm on the CAC board, when somebody asks me a question about that program. I can't tell them anything, but it's a bill.
I run the building department and I can't tell you when it's gonna finish either. I mean, it's under construction, that's probably how it
Somebody
works.
works down there, somebody can say something, there's gotta be some kind of information that could be given.
The information I have is that it's gonna be completed this summer.
It is on housing authority property. I mean,
It's
that's
on
the
Housing
only
Authority
thing.
property, it's gonna be completed this summer. So,
Well, let me just, I did see,
And I know,
well, I added that, Mr. Jones, I did see some of that come across all of the things that I see, y'all don't see, and I don't see them either sometimes, that some people are questioning, inside the building, okay? About, they want to see pictures that depicted West Tampa. I heard that's gonna be called Tampa Heights Publix.
that's my point.
And I was trying to figure, can't do nothing about that. Now, I would say this, the housing authority is providing the land and all that. I think if we want to have someone contact Publix, they have a representative from Publix come here and talk to us, that's different. You ain't gonna get, see, the city is talking about building, construction, and all of that, they was talking about that. You're talking about now that it's built, you know, what is it gonna be to the community? Like, for example, I know that people are asking them that, will they be putting in some pictures depicting historical beginnings of West Tampa? That came up. I saw that somewhere, all of the stuff I see come across Facebook, this book, and all that I've monitored. So people are asking, would they be, what type of pictures would they be? Would they be older pictures of the projects? Would they be pictures of historical buildings in West Tampa? I don't know. That's not something that Ms. Philly can deal with, and that ain't something that the house can do. That's something that we have to talk to the owners of Publix if we want to.
Anything would be good.
Huh?
Any communication would be good.
Okay, so then, Ms. Earl, can you find out who we contact at Publix to have them come speak at the CAC?
Because what type of.
We having a ribbon cutting?
But that's in violation of the sunshine law. You can't talk to us like this.
Well, but if she don't wanna do
Well-
it, you make a motion and then we'll see if she'll
I
follow
would like
that.
to make a
Motion what?
that someone from Public,
Mhm.
corporation or whoever over the building. come
Be
to our
invited.
meeting, Be invited to our meeting to give us some type of
A
information.
presentation.
Our presentation, anything would be acceptable.
That's your motion?
That's my
Is
motion.
there a second?
I'll second
Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay.
Mr. David, why you had a smile on your face like that?
Motion passes. Motion passes.
Something to say?
All right, so they take care of that. Mr. Bobby Wilson, please note that he is present. He's just in time to talk about the public. No, we're gonna pass that on. No, he ain't turning in. You gotta be ready, you gotta be there for a second. Okay, we just passed the motion for you guys here, that the public, find somebody in public to come talk to us so we can ask what's going on. Because we know that they're doing it. Now, we're on announcements now, I believe, Mr. Roy?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We have an announcement that Celestina's Park Improvement Project will have a groundbreaking ceremony. It's-
Finally.
Finally,
Wow.
after hard work, we're finally here.
Oh, man.
Very excited. It'll be on April 9th, it's a Wednesday. It will be 2:30 in the afternoon. They are going to be bringing a tent out, we'll have some water in case it's hot. But we will have Mayor Jane Castor there, we'll have Judge Isel Cenas there in terms of speakers, and of course our CRA Board Chair Gwen Henderson, and of course your chair here, Mr. Robinson. So we hope you can come out to celebrate the groundbreaking of this park. Y'all worked very hard on it. I think when I started here, you were working on the park. You had been working on the park, and now it's time to pull the fence back and get the park completed. So
Did they
good
do a
work.
Mississippi Acts and notify the family?
What's that?
Did y'all notify?
I did. I'm having actually lunch with him on Monday, so
Well, my
to show
sources
him
say
the
that he
plans.
had, my
He
sources
insisted.
say that he is aware of this on the ninth.
Oh, yes, yes.
And
He's
that
very
They're
excited.
aware of it, so I just want to make sure
Yes.
that they did contact them tonight.
Yes, no, I'm aware, I've spoken to
Okay.
the judge several times,
Thank you, Ms. Bell.
yes, so he's very
All
happy.
right. All right, the next announcement is, any other announcements? If not, I've got some. Is there any other announcements? Any other, all right. I have, some, good neighbor notices. The first one I have is, Res 24000111, at 2403 West Fifth Street, RM 16, proposed zoning RM 18. And that's from, the applicant is Michael Perez. I have, to pass that down to the store. The next one I have is application rezoning at 2315 West Spruce Street, a single-family detached residence. Applicant is Domain Homes, Kevin Rhodes. So they still building homes over here. And then we have, another one. This is a application for hazardous grand tree removal. And this is, the applicant is, Fred Henry of Domain Homes. Address is 1740 West St. Louis Street. Laurel Oak 33 inch, rear yard center, and a 38-inch Laurel Oak rear yard east side, Fred Henry Domain Homes. And then I have, a application for formal decision at 1526 West Arch Street, splitting parcel to create two RH-50 compliant lots. Once again, this is Kevin Rose of Domain Homes, and the agent's address is 3104 North Dominion Street. Those are the good neighbor notices that I can make on time. Does anyone have any other announcements? If not, no announcements going once?
Oh, I do, I'm sorry. Just a quick thing, the West Tampa Chamber, well, first of all, we are doing a letter about the CRA legislation, so that'll be coming out shortly. But we are having a cornhole tournament, April 6th. Some of you were there last year, it was a blast. So please come out and help support. You don't have to be playing, although we'd love to have more teams, but you're gonna have a great time with food and beverages and supporting West
What date is
Tampa.
that?
Saturday, April 6th.
April
6th.
6th, is that?
Can we get ringers?
Oh, Ybor has bouncy ball, and West Tampa has cornhole.
Some of those kids.
All right, is there any other announcements going once? And we did announce that the next CRA board meeting is April 10th at 9 a.m. And our next CAC meeting is April 15th, here at the Education Foundation. And then, Ms. Brewer, we need to announce, ladies, okay, it says May CAC meeting location change. Can you explain that one to us?
Just real quick.
May's gonna be here real soon.
Okay, this room is not available on our May date. We knew about this back when we first booked it. We were hoping something was gonna change, so we're looking for another location. Right now, it looks like we're probably going to Barksdale because it's available, but I will give you a confirmation of that as soon as I know, okay?
Barksdale
Barksdale Center.
versus Martin Luther King.
Well, Martin Luther King wasn't available, I don't believe.
The
We have
library,
someone
the
working.
library is still, they're doing something with the children, with the activists.
If y'all have another location you want me to look into, or anyone wants to
Well,
entertain.
you know, the whole rule is try to keep it in the CRA.
Exactly.
I thought they were done with the, library.
They got the window toy right down in the basement. I'm sitting there looking out in there, I don't know what they do, like the air conditioner or something messed up. Does anybody know if the library is even open?
I thought it was open, but they are doing that work in the basement.
Well, Mrs.
But we
Broder,
upstairs.
so, yeah, okay, well, can you check to see if the West Tampa Library?
The West
meeting
Tampa
room-
Library?
Yeah, I mean, that's where we've been meeting, and you came to this nice facility. Is that just a one-time opportunity?
Just one time.
And then we'll be back to this building? Okay, anybody got any, so we'll look at the West Tampa Library, is there any other sources? I do know that, Martin King is real echoey, yeah, but it's in the district, so what do y'all wanna do? Well, we got a four members. You go with the King Center? Go ahead. Ladies, y'all have a problem with the King Center? So she'll look at the library, King Center, and Barksdale, and then we'll make a decision next month. How's that sound? Okay, so that takes care of everything on the agenda. I won't say, you add something in, okay,
No,
it's fine.
I'm making a correction. I said the cornhole tournament was the 6th. It's April 5th, Saturday, April 5th.
Okay, Saturday, April, I was wondering.
Saturday,
because I got-
April 5th,
I was wondering, April 5th, okay. And that's gonna be where at?
at Roche Surety in the outdoor, outside in the big parking lot.
Roche?
On Hines Avenue, right across from the stadium.
Oh, yeah, that's Tampa over there. Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. Okay, is there anything else? If not, I wanna thank Mrs. Jones now, come on, we got time to thank y'all got over the boat.
I wanted to let her know that they did the alleyway, over on my side, they did that.
When you say get that, what you mean?
Clean it up.
Oh, yeah, they don't clean, I don't walk them, I walk them, I walk them.
Good job.
I don't walk with that, they've been doing some bad stuff. So, but I just wanna, in closing, before we close out and adjourn the meeting, Mrs. Felix, thank you for showing up, we appreciate having you here. Mr. Cedric McQuaid, thank you, and congratulations to both y'all, you're permanent now, you're experienced veterans, let's work together and let's keep our salaries going, let's clean up these slums and blighted areas, which we are. We ain't moved out of it yet, but we're slum and blighted, and we wanna thank y'all for your service to the city and for showing up tonight. Bobby, you missed it. We had our two Mrs. Agassi permit, Administrator of Economic Opportunity and our permanent director for the CRA Assessment Center. Unanimously approved. And with that, motion, we don't need a motion to meet is adjourned. Thank you. You got here early, man. Yeah, they got the 5 minutes.